So what we're going to do, when a puppy comes into the shop for the first time, we usually do what we call a puppy intro, and we've already given Scout her bath and her blow dry. We don't want to make it too traumatic for him for the very first time in, so basically what we want to do is to get him clean. So we gave her bath, combed her out good, so she's nice and fluffy and beautiful again. She's at least 4 shades lighter than she was before we started. And then one thing, you know, the customer always wants to be able to see her eyes. So on a coat where she doesn't have a lot of length right here, it's really soft, what I'm actually going to do is take thinning shears and I'm just going to trim up in front of her eyes. I'm holding the thinning shears at an angle and I'm just going to kind of blend it back. So I've got this straight line going from her ear to the corner of her eye, and I'm just going to use my thinning shears. And by doing it with thinning shears, it's going to keep it a very soft puppy look. Because I think that's one of the things that people try to preserve for as long as they possibly can, is to keep that puppy face. And where she still has that very soft coat, this will be a very soft, very pretty look on her. And it'll keep it back out of her face, so hopefully the client won't go home and help out the groomer by trimming that all off. Good girl. She's not minding this too much. She's being very good. Now you'll be able to see her eyes. She won't be running into things. This little girl lives in New York City, so she's a New York girl. She's a classy girl. She plays in Central Park.
Now, one thing we're going to do, if your dog comes back from the groomer right after they've been shaved, there's a product called SkinWorks that we normally use. So, for instance, if they trim her tail or her face and she seems to be a little bit red or a little bit irritated, you can put this SkinWorks on there. It's made by Coat Handler, and just rub it into the skin really good. It's not an oil base, but it's just a lotion, so it'll dissolve into the skin and it'll keep them from being irritated. And if you ever have a dog with a hot spot or anything like that, that will actually soothe it. So we always rub that on after we've groomed them.
See, now by doing this, I've opened up her eyes. She still has that puppy look. I didn't scissor over the top of her ears, so that will keep her with that real, you know, soft puppy look for a little bit longer. But I just kind of scissored back, thinning sheared back, the hair back away from her eyes just a little bit to keep that nice soft puppy look. Now,
pretty girl.
On her back end, what we're going to do, it's okay, baby. In order to keep up with this area at home in between groomings, normally your groomer will clip this area on a poodle, and you clip around the rectum area using, especially on a light-coated dog, I wouldn't go any closer than a 10 blade. If you end up getting any kind of matter that's built up in the dogs, that builds up in between groomings, one of the best things to do is, again, if you take a warm paper towel with warm water on it, and just kind of hold it if you have any kind of matter that's stuck on her coat or her rear end. If you take a warm paper towel and just kind of hold it on it, that'll soften a little bit. And then you can just take a comb with a finer tooth, and any kind of matter that you have on there should slide right out. If you have a lot of dust and dirt, or even any dried stool that's on the coat, instead of wetting that down and getting it all soggy, wait for it to be good and dry, and then you can take your slicker brush and you'll brush it right out. So that's one of the nice things about a poodle coat, is in between grooming you can take a dog that's pretty dirty and yucky and just take a slicker brush to it, fluff it all up, and you'll get it to look really clean again.
And what you see as a pet owner, if they do have some matter where they had an accident back there, if you do take a spray like a dry shampoo or something like that, or just try to wet it with a cloth, what happens is you wind up usually smearing it into the coat. And so you're a lot better off just to try to brush it out before you do try to put any type of water or anything, or dry shampoo on it. And then if it's to the point where it is stuck all in the coat, you may have to rinse them off, stick them in the tub, rinse them off. Make sure you get the shampoo out of the coat, because this is a really sensitive area back here and it gets irritated really easily if you don't rinse all of that shampoo clean.